The latest in the George Zimmerman trial. After that dramatic hearing last night, the defense expected to wrap up its case today, sending to the jury by week's end. ABC's Matt Gutman is covering it all from Sanford, Florida. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. We haven't seen anything quite like last night's marathon proceedings. Lawyers attacking lawyers, breaking court protocol, then demanding apologies, and coming so close towards the end of this trial. It shows how high the stakes are right now and perhaps how personally these lawyers are taking this.
Overnight tensions boiling over.
This information violates both the Florida and the United States Constitution.
After nearly 13 hours in court, much of it spent sparring over what evidence will be admitted today, George Zimmerman's attorneys angrily complained the state had been withholding information.
Made us spend 10, 20, 30, 100 hours digging it out, playing games with us, lying to this court, and now it's our fault.
I would offer him the opportunity right now to apologize to me for suggesting that I stood by silently with information that I did not have.
The proceedings going so late, even the lights went out.
I think that's a signal to me, Your Honor.
Finally, Judge Deborah Nelson had enough.
Court is in recess.
And walked out, even as attorneys kept talking. Much of the debate overnight centered on text messages found on Martin's phone. The defense says they show Martin liked to fight. Prosecutors say they are speculative and want them excluded.
We don't know who typed these messages. We don't know if they're connected.
Prosecutors also said Tuesday they don't want jurors to see this 3D animation. Commissioned by the defense, it depicts what Zimmerman says happened in the moments before he shot and killed Trayvon Martin. The 29-year-old who has pleaded not guilty to murder charges says the teen pinned him to the ground and punched him repeatedly, and that he only fired in self-defense.
It takes pieces of evidence that exist, various witness statements, and it puts them together in a way that does assist the jury.
But prosecutors...
This animation is a supposition inside a riddle wrapped in an enigma.
And even Judge Nelson questioned the accuracy of the animation.
Now, Judge Nelson is set to rule on that 3D animation and Trayvon Martin's text messages this morning. Now, the defense badly wants jurors to hear that. The question is, do jurors want to hear it? Analysts are telling us they're taking fewer notes. They're asking for fewer breaks, which means they've probably already made up their minds. George.
Okay, Matt, thanks very much. Let's bring in Dan Abrams, our chief legal affairs anchor. That jury is sequestered. One of the reasons they went so late last night.
That's right. The judge is trying to get as much done as possible because there are a bunch of jurors sitting at a hotel away from their families, wanting to go home and wanting this trial to end. So it is admirable, I would say, that the judge is taking this late and saying to them, we have to get this going. I think Matt brings up an interesting point about whether the jurors have already made up their minds. I don't think it's any question that these jurors want to get back there and deliberate. Remember, they haven't been able to talk about this case with each other. So they're itching to get back there and say, all right, let's start doing this. I get it. I understand what's going on. I've heard all this evidence, and I think he's right that they have already made up their minds and want to start talking.
So does that make you think this animation won't be all that critical?
I don't think it's going to be a make or break issue in this case. The important thing for the defense is not just to show what happened before, but I think they also want to show why a key witness, a neighbor who said that it was George Zimmerman who was on the bottom, had the best view. They want to show, because I've been to that scene, and I can tell you that where this occurred is directly in front of that neighbor's back porch. And that's one of the things this animation shows. The defense believes that's very helpful to them because this witness was so important to the defense case.
Okay, Dan Abrams, thanks very much.